And welcome back, Marketplace Wealth Now. Ever since the election, the stock market has continued to climb, and news broke when the Dow Jones Industrial Average topped 20,000 for the first time in history in January, only to soar beyond that in days and weeks that followed. So what is going on with the stock market, and what does all that mean for your retirement accounts? Here to explain all that, Greg and Kristen Taylor for our weekly visits from Legacy Retirement Group, and they have their eyes and ears on the stock market. You can bet. This is kind of an interesting time in our lives, isn't it?
Very interesting. It is, and of course, none of us have a crystal ball to say what's going to happen. Who would have known that we'd be 8 years into a bull market now? But the one thing I'll say is I think that what's happened over the last year is people have become a little bit complacent, a little bit just let it ride, and I think that's all the more reason now to really watch where you're at, not maybe necessarily make drastic changes yet, but just pay attention to where you're at and what your portfolios are doing.
Okay, so assuming that you have a conservative way of approaching your portfolio, there's this feeling right now that, wow, I mean, we might be on a roll. Should I be trying to get more bang for my buck? Is this the time for that?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because we just had a couple in maybe 2 weeks ago, and they're like, maybe it's time to get a little more aggressive. We're kind of conservative, but man, we really like seeing it go up when the market's going up. I said, but how does that make you feel when the market goes down? Well, we don't like that too much. Then stay where you are. Stay true to yourself. If you're conservative, you're not going to like it if there's a big correction.
Yeah.
You're not going to like taking big losses. So be true to yourself. Now, if you're an aggressive investor, be aggressive. Be true to yourself.
Is this a time to buy in if you've been kind of sitting on the sidelines?
If you've sat on the sidelines since 2009 and now you're just thinking about getting in, I would just hold on a little minute and say, why have you been sitting on the sidelines so long?
Yeah, good point.
You know? Yeah. Now, notice this, though. You have to kind of take advantage of the financial rules. Okay. And one rule that is just a rule of thumb, but it is a place to start, is called the rule of 100. So if you take 100 and you subtract your age, that's about the maximum amount you want in stocks. So if you're 60, you want about 40% in stocks. Right. If you're 70, about 30% in stocks. If you're 20, about 80% in stocks. So that'll help you understand about where you are on that spectrum. And also, if you're within 5 years of retirement, that changes the game.
Right. So that's all based on risk, obviously.
Yes. It is.
So what are you feeling? I mean, there is some buzz that maybe interest rates might go ticking up just a little bit more. What do you feel this is going to do?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. We were talking about it before we came on that, you know, there's not been a ton of talk because remember back at the end of last year when there was, that's when we saw those dips. So I think maybe that it's going to go up. Greg and I were talking about 1/4% maybe at a time. I think we're going to have 2 or 3 of these this year, though.
And they could have a correction following?
Yes, and I think that there needs to be some rebalancing to fit with normal market cycles.
Well, we want people to come talk to you, and I know that you always have an offer. And what are we offering today?
Well, we want to take advantage of what's going on and let people understand where they sit. So we want them to come in for a portfolio review. Okay. Come in and let's take a look, see what your fees are, because fees can have a big impact on your portfolio. The amount of risk versus return, all those things, Sean, and anyone that calls that qualifies in the next 15 minutes, we're going to allow them to come in, meet with Kristen and I, and see if we can make some sense that will help make their portfolio more consistent.
And you see the number on your screen. It's 336-7660. If you would like to give them a call, you can connect with them there, or go to legacyretirementgroup.com as well, so you know a little bit better how you can get a handle on what's going on with your retirement. Thank you both so much.
Good to be here.
Good to see you as always.